Welcome to That's Another.
Do you have a League of Their Own on in the background?
Yeah, we do.
Ah, holy shit.
Yeah, that was Jim.
That was my
That
idea.
was his idea. We got to, what's it, Marla Hooch?
Marla Hooch.
We got past that part.
Good one.
All right, we started. That's for another time. Episode number 14. Believe it or not, this is 14. Unfortunately, we're not all together. By the way, that was a blast last week. That was for the Super Bowl. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, a great time. But can I just say, I'm so happy that Mike's a clean person because when the giraffe shits, he's got the Clorox wipes to wipe the giraffe's ass when it's done.
So Mike's got a new background, and he brought the giraffe in. You should have brought that sumbitch with you last week.
I should have. Yeah. No, here it is. See that? Look at that. Yeah. There he is. There's that bastard.
Is that thing made of wood or is it is it?
Oh no, it's handcrafted out of wood. We actually got it in Africa when we were on
that's what
safari.
I figured.
So yeah,
that's
what
I
figured. It's made out of wood.
All right. First, I want to start by saying that I have not pissed myself or shit myself this week.
Congratulations!
So it's been a whole week of not pissing my pants or shitting myself. So that I just want to get that out of the way.
Good for you.
So you've been an adult all week.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've all shit ourselves as adults, but yes, I didn't try to piss in a jug or anything this week. Although I got so much shit to drink during this episode, I might end up having to piss in something. I got an open container here if necessary. That'll fit. That's the one. That's actually the size of the one I tried when it recoiled on me and it went back.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, thank God it wasn't the Mountain Dew bottle.
Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah. And you can't use cans because you might do a little slicing action there. All right, Mike.
What if you had to shit? Would you use a big gulp cup? Or what would you have? What would you do?
Well, you're not going to try to shit.
My friend did
in his car.
Yeah, he was delivering flowers.
What did he do?
He used a big gulp cup.
Are you kidding?
I swear to God, he was probably 18 years old at the time. Yeah.
How the hell did he shit in the cup?
Listen, I don't know. I wasn't in there. I heard it, and I said I don't need to hear anymore. So, but that's yeah. That's
how do you shit in your car when you're sitting in?
He was in a van delivering flowers.
So what did he do? Slide all the way?
Maybe he went in the back. I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember.
You might want to cut that.
This is like I don't know about this. Yeah. This is like pissing over a Winnebago. All right? I don't know.
Speaking of that, speaking of that, before we talk about the game, I was impressed with Jim's ability, but I didn't realize. So basically, he's doing it like he's pinching a water hose because he got it up to his head, but he did not get it higher than a car or a fence, though.
Well, I didn't have enough in me at the time.
He claims he doesn't have enough in him.
No.
The prostate's
not as strong as it once was either, probably.
I'm wondering if you're younger, if you have the ability, if you're pinching it like that you could spray it. See, I didn't realize that's what you were doing.
Yeah, there's a technique.
Oh, there's a technique. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. I'm just scratching the whole beginning. I'm just kidding. There's a technique. All right, I want to. This is going to be one of those where I'm going to revisit. First of all, Jim belted out Big Gulp. I don't want to lose that in the story. That they don't. I don't even think they don't even sell them anymore, do they?
You know what? I'm sure they do. I haven't been in a 7-Eleven in I don't know how long. Are there even 7-Elevens around here?
Yeah, I know there's one in Allentown.
Okay.
Oh, there used to be one in Peaburg. I think there's still one in Phillipsburg.
Yeah, there probably is one in Phillipsburg.
But they opened up the Wawa, and I don't know how well that does now. That, by the way, folks, is on the way to the place where where that cop got that state
or
trooper.
Pull off on the side of the road and throw up. Too.
That's true. That's in the diner.
Yeah.
That's in the Red Butter.
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't yak then, did he? No, he left on Monday morning. I don't think he yacked because he took it too easy because he was all hung over from the night before. All right, Mike, I'll start with you. What did you think of the game and the whole everything that we had going on here?
I thought it was a pretty good game. I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you, mainly because we have so much going on. There's so much fellowship around. But I thought it was a good game, and it was a good time. Everybody had a blast. Drank a bunch of beers. Hey, by the way, I turned you onto those organic beers.
Oh, those were So it's the Michelob. It's pure gold, right? Is that what it's called?
That's right. Yep.
Those things were
that good, huh?
They were good. So I had 15 beers total. By the way, I don't know if I told you, I had 15 total beers because I kept my cap with my tab or the lids.
Right.
I don't know. That's a pretty good effort for not having anything since New Year's Eve. But I'm going to assume we probably. Well, what did we have of those? We had 18 of those, right? Total, because I had gotten a 12 and you brought 6.
Yeah, that's right. We had
so
18.
we probably each had 9 of those.
Okay.
So I probably had 6 regular ultras. Yeah, those were out. Those were great.
But there was a lot of beer here.
Yeah. There was a lot left over.
Yeah.
You missed that fucking cooler the next day. Fucking pond all the way out here.
No. Coffin. It leaked like a bastard out there.
Fucking coffin. Yeah,
I come walking out in the morning to get a water that I put in the fridge. All of a sudden, I step in fucking water. What is going on? Water everywhere.
Hey, your feet weren't cold when your foot hit the wood floor, were they? Because there was no carpet there.
Good one. Yeah, That's real cold.
That's another.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Well, what happened first, Doug, is I got out of bed, I stuck my foot in the ground.
Good one.
So then I realized it was cold.
Okay.
Now I'm going to tell. Angela's upstairs. So we go the day before, so they're coming over. Now this is I mean, as a dude, I have no idea like how to properly decorate a room. It's like the second time anybody stayed in that room, and she wants to make sure that these guys. But the floors, there's no carpet.
Right.
So she's trying to pick out like these rugs that when they get out of bed, they can put their feet on them if they have to go to the bathroom, and their feet won't touch the cold floor. So she's looking at all these the colors and all this. And she finally asks me, like, what do you think? I'm like, listen, I don't mean this to sound, but I'm a guy. Like, I would never have thought of getting that. So to me, it's like, no, I don't, I don't have any idea to like, oh man. So I wanted to tell Mike that he should go up to her. And I told him the next day, listen, that room was perfect, but my feet were cold in the morning when I got out of bed.
You know what?
Right? Would you have ever thought of that?
The answer would be to Nicole, who the fuck cares?
Well, I was much nicer than that.
Like, listen, if his feet are cold, he's going to have to live with it. He doesn't live here. He's spending the night.
I think she was more concerned about Kathy. I appreciate that. It just, for me, I'm like, it didn't even matter there was a bathroom down here. That's the only thing that I would have been concerned about.
Yep.
But anyhow, that was it. That was so what did you think overall?
I thought it was a great game. Yeah. Very enjoyable. And getting to that last drive, I'm not a person that thinks the games are fixed or anything like that, but it did seem like the refs were letting them play the whole game.
Yeah. And
then right at the end, it's like, oh, well, we're going to drop this flag here now. We're going to drop this.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because at least you would have held them to a field goal. And instead of giving them that 1st and goal and they go in to score, and all right, Burrow's got the ball back. And I was listening to Charlie Weiss and Bob Papa the other day, and Zach Taylor said, well, we were late getting the play call in on 3rd down. And he's like, well, first of all, you call the plays. The clock was stopped. That's on you. It's your fault. And, why... Yeah, I know you handed off to Perrine the whole year, but how don't you not give it to Mixon, or at least have an idea of what you're going to run?
Down play,
I don't even on that 3rd down. They should have reviewed that 3rd down because it actually looked like he got the 1st down from the overhead angle, and they didn't pull. So I didn't like the way it ended because I just think that the Bengals got cheated slightly, but that's you can't prove anything like that. And like I said, I don't think games are fixed or anything like that. I just think that they probably say, human nature, to be a good ending. First Super Bowl back in LA since '93. Let's give it to. But
I know this. That was way too detailed for my memory. I just remember Eli Apple getting burned and Ventola's dad, Mikey V's dad, Tony, yelling out, "In your mouth." You missed that. That was the line of the day.
Yes.
Because it's a former he fucking hates him. He's a Giants fan, Eli Apple, former Giant, and it happened and he just yelled, "In your mouth." And everybody was, it was almost like when the Anvil yelled at the kids. Like everybody was like stunned what they just heard and all agreed that was a classic line.
It was like walking into the Destillet Club in Animal House when he yells out that line, right?
Yes.
And Otis Day and the Knights are playing and they all lit.
Otis, my man. Yeah, that was a little bit too. I thought the game. I would have obviously wanted to see the game go as long as possible.
Right. Well, you were close. Overtime.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But that was kind of a very abrupt end.
Right.
To a good game. But it also shows you too. We've talked about this before about not that he's an analytics guy, but a lot of these guys that are numbers guys, when it comes down to being able to think on your feet,
right.
They can't do it. And then something like that, where he said, "Oh, the play came in late," You got to be kidding me.
Not only that, but I'm going to steal your paper here. But here you are with a headset on, a play sheet in front of you, and okay, second and we throw a bomb, we don't get it. Okay, we're on the 45-yard line. Oh, 3rd and 1 from the -45 right hash. What's the play I'm running?
Yeah.
You have it written right down there on the call sheet. How hard is it to just get it in? It's not like. It's not rocket science, because if it was rocket science, not everybody would be doing it. So
I agree. That was a little bit disappointing. Do you
what is it? Are you drinking kryptonite?
No.
What the hell is that?
No, this is Diet Mountain Dew and the
you
lemon.
see that old school glass
that
too?
Old Dolphin.
Yes.
Do you remember when we were younger,
classic.
you used to be able to buy them in the grocery store?
Yeah.
Oh, this is from Mobile. There it is, right
there
on the
you
other
go.
side.
So we were right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's from a gas station. I got this on eBay for Shane. I thought he'd appreciate this, drinking out of this today. The only thing is it's not big enough, so you got to fill it up.
That's
And
what
the
she
Dolphins
said.
should go back to that old helmet.
Absolutely. We saw him when we saw him play. They should go to those the old school jerseys.
That's the one that Walshy's son got you the tickets for, right? The Miami game.
Yes, Eichenberg or something. Eichelberg.
Took a couple seconds.
I kept taking. Yeah, I told you, Walsh's kid played. He went to Notre Dame. Yeah, he banged the guy's mom, so we kid around.
Yes.
That's his kid.
Yes, good one.
That was a little harsh right there, but.
Hey, Doug, on Monday when you went to work, did John Sterling give the wrong score of the game?
No. I was aware of who won that one. No.
That's weird.
That
weird,
happened.
isn't it?
I also didn't wreck my car on the way there. So I have answers to those questions we brought up last week, but I'll get to that in a minute. So one of the classic first Super Bowl Mike and I are together. It's the Raiders Buccaneers one when Gruden's win. So we get ripped. So the next day I'm driving to work, and I'm obviously still feeling the effects of it. And it had snowed. And I'm in Phillipsburg there on that Green Street or whatever that 2-laner is. And I decide I'm going to pass somebody on the right, but it's actually like the outside lane.
Right.
So I get up outside, get up in the marbles there, fucking stick it right into a pole or a street sign or something. Enough that I wasn't hurt, but it damaged the car. So the cop shows up, and I'm pretty sure he was aware of what took place.
Yeah.
And instead of processing and going through all that or having the embarrassment of this guy's still drunk from the night before, I must have sat there 3 hours. I mean, it could have taken how long? And then they charged me for fucking bending the sign over. Right. But that was the next day. That was bad. So I learned not to fucking try to pass somebody in a snowstorm. The car next to me, I just pushed right up into it. They just kept right on going. They didn't even stop to see. No, nobody stopped. No.
They were probably still drunk from the night before, too.
Oh, they might have still been drunk. They might have thought they fucking bumped me and pushed me.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember? So this is 2002, right?
Yeah.
So we had flip phones. Remember those flip phones? You would text on them fuckers, and you would every number had a potential of 3 letters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So it was very minimalistic. So I remember the next day, Monday, I'm sitting in my office and I get this text from Doug that says, it's very minimal, like crash car. I'm like, what? So what? Question mark, right? I crashed the car. I'm like, holy shit, what happened? So You couldn't text like we do today or send a picture back. All right. So I had to wait till later today to find out what exactly happened. He stuck it in a jig all ripped up and everything. So.
Oh, man. You know, I look at, like, I'm the type of person, like, I'd rather just get on my phone and call you, be like, hey, can you help me out with something? Instead of sending a text. I hate text. And the worst is when you get in a texting with somebody and like, hey, can you help me out today? Yeah, sure. What time? 2:00. Okay, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. And it just goes on. Like, who's got to get the last word in? You know, like, or they keep asking you questions. Like, dude, just pick up the phone. You can say what you have to say in 12 seconds. I can give you the answer and hang up, and we can get it settled. But nope, everybody's got to keep texting. Texting. I don't mind a text string. You get
you know, you get the thumbs up, right? The thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
Send that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to start sending that to you.
Yeah, good one.
Well, the group text is a great invention, but it's also the worst invention.
Yes.
Because if you're in it and you really don't necessarily want to be part of it, or it's getting... So I recorded Daytona yesterday, and the one guy that I know, well, Gene Coos, he has the Fork U Racing League. These guys all know the finish, and I'm still watching it, and I'm just trying to clear it. They're clear it, because I don't want to see who's got. That's where it can be. Now those texts were coming in. They were accurate on who's winning the race. They didn't belt out that Buddy Baker won the fucking thing or something like you would have done.
Good one, Buddy Baker. That's a good one.
The other good one is the text string, and it's a fraud. Well, for some people, you know, any night of the week that ends in a Y at 1:30 in the morning, texting, F Easton football or F this, F that. And you're like, dude, it's 2:30 in the morning.
That's usually a wall sheet.
Yeah. It's like,
he'll just belt, something will pop into his head, or he's got that. Yeah.
Or 7 hours later after Ohio State blows a game, you'll get Sean, finally at 1:30 in the morning, be like, football season's over, boys. Like, they suck, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe they won, but fuck Penn State. Like, okay, I needed that to wake me up. Thank you very much.
I want credit, by the way, for not. I thought you put that out there as a softball serve to me. Jim sends a text to the group. I call them the Ohio State guys because a few of us are on there that don't like Ohio State. And his son Joey was in Columbus and sends a picture of the horseshoe. And Jim said, hey, nice pictures from Joey today from C-Bus. Sean writes, great, where champions are made. And I was going to write, are you in Tuscaloosa?
Yes.
Good one.
And I figured for sure you did it, hoping that I would do it. So Angela couldn't wait. The next day, she fucking sent it. A great view of the stadium where real champions are made. And, of course, crickets. Nobody said anything. That's the good thing about the group text. Or that you get shit from people and you have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Or you got to look it up. Or you get that big black guy linked to everything. That guy was
the meme last year.
Yes.
All right, so last week we were talking about the trivia questions about there has never been a quarterback that's won the Heisman, won the national championship, and won the Super Bowl. So still not, because Burrow didn't. But there's been two quarterbacks, I looked this up, that won the national championship and won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So one of them, I'm going to give, so Jim sees the hit.
Yeah.
One of them is way early. So I'll give, it's from 5 down to 1. And it was at the time the most earth-breaking, earth-shattering, whatever, NFL barrier-breaking Super Bowl win in the history of the game.
Oh, that had to be Joe Willie then.
Joe Willie, because he won at Alabama and he won with the Jets. Now, the other one, I forgot, because these were all voted on national champion. This guy quarterbacked the Niners and went to Notre Dame.
Joe Montana.
Right. Those were the only two quarterbacks that won a national, which is amazing. That won a national championship and won a Super Bowl. The only two guys.
That's it is amazing, just those two. Like, but then you think about it, you're like, all right, well, I had to be Peyton Manning. Well, no, Peyton never won it, never won one.
Close.
You know, like, and you think of like Marino. Oh, well, didn't they win it? Yeah,
no.
But nope.
They had good teams, but not that. And the Penn State quarterbacks never had much success in the NFL. The USC guys, I mean, Leinart never was any good. The Alabama guys up until now, but even then, it's going to be. They don't even. There's only been 3 players that have won a Heisman, a Heisman, right? Is that what that is? The Heisman and the Super Bowl, and it was
and a national title.
No, not a national championship.
Well, Dorsett won a national title.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah,
national title, right? Only 3 players: national title, Heisman, Super Bowl. Tony Dorsett, Marcus Allen, and Charles Woodson. Because I thought.
Tony Dorsett won a national championship
at Pitt because they were voted on in the early 80s, yes.
76.
Was that when it was?
And then Marcus was like 78, right? 79, and Woodson was 97.
I cut myself.
What you got?
I picked that apart because I was...
That's impressive.
But you know what's interesting? Yeah. I guess Desmond Howard didn't win at Michigan that year. He did the Heisman pose. Right. But they must have been pretty good, though. But they didn't win. Oh, because they didn't win a national title. They didn't win a lot of them, no. But he
won the Heisman Trophy at pretty much really one play early in the year.
Right.
And that was, against the Irish had beaten them like three years in a row. And they call on 4th and 1, Elvis Gerback just floats one and Desmond reaches out. And then that started the hype train for him. And then, he gets that punt return against Ohio State, and that just sealed it for him.
Rocket Ismail, did he win a Heisman with Notre Dame? Because
they gave it to Detmer that year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, well, Ty, not Coy, right?
Ty, yes, Ty.
Coy had the hairiest freaking beard I've ever seen.
I thought you were going to say the hairiest ass. I was going to be like, how do you know that?
Peyton Manning didn't have a hairy ass when Mike saw it at that game.
No, he didn't.
That was clean. Vanderjack's ass was clean, too.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jeff Saturday. I'd imagine he'd have a hairy ass.
He looks like a hairy bastard.
That big son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, you got anything to add to that, or that's good? We'll move on from the actual nuts and bolts talk there.
Well, maybe most impressive is I think there's only one quarterback who won a Super Bowl, a Heisman, and beat the band when they were on the field. That's Elway.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yes. Oh, the band is on the field.
That's still when you go to the College Football Hall of Fame, they have some memorable moments you get to do as a radio broadcast, and you record them onto your little card, and that's one of the. You watch the play, and then they tell you in your ear what to say, and then they record it for you.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty cool. That's one of them. That was great, yeah. And you got to try to scream like a lunatic like that guy did.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Like that'll be... Because even that weird Miami play that happened a couple years ago where they did all those reverses and stuff.
Oh,
was that against Duke?
Yeah.
Even that wasn't as wild as the band being out on the field.
True.
And then
and that shouldn't have even counted either. Which there were a couple laterals.
Right.
And like, if you're gonna have replay and look at this stuff, get the shit right.
That's
true. Sure you're okay there?
No, it's just It's
want somebody to cure?
I'm bleeding like a stuck pig, which takes me to my next thing about squealing like a stuck pig. I want to tell that story. You tell the story, your version of you squealing like a pig. When Angela found out you and I were smoking a doobie in the bathroom last December.
Well, in my defense, we were pretty tore up.
Yes.
Allegedly.
That was the weekend before he tells this. We each drank, because we kept track, a total of 39 beers in 2 days. We had 18 and 20. Is that right? 18. We had 18 and 20. 18
and 21.
And 21.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we had 18 the first night, and then matched it the next day on Sunday with 21 beers. Yes, we each drank 39 beers. Okay.
Yeah.
So we kept our lids for both days.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
So and that on Sunday, that was on top of having something to smoke on too. All right, so go ahead.
Allegedly.
No,
Allegedly.
not I mean, yes. Sorry, allegedly. Yes,
Allegedly. Well, here's what I remember is I remember going up into the garage. You were getting something out of the garage, out of that refrigerator in the garage, right?
Yes.
And Angela was there, and she made some comment about, boy, it smells like, it kind of smells. I'm like, well, it's because we were smoking weed down in the bathroom. Which was true, by the way.
And then
technically, though, wait a minute, hold on, Jim. I kind of lied. I think what I said was Doug was smoking weed.
Yeah, no, I thought you
right
said
under the bus.
it was my idea.
Yeah, you took the fall. I blamed everything on you.
He blamed everything on me, and I'm standing right there, and I could not believe that was happening.
Yeah.
So we're in that bathroom in there, and Walshy gives us those little one-hitters because neither one of us are experienced in that department. It's the only thing we could handle. And we think that we're going to go in there, and with the fan on, you're not going to you're not going to smell anything. And it was like a punch in the face.
Oh, it's like a skunk went in there, pissed all over the walls.
Yes.
Literally. It was rough. It was bad.
Well, think about it. I mean, if the shitter fan doesn't get all the shitter smell out,
that's true.
How is it going to get out weed smell?
We had we were like two little kids in there. Like,
hey, this is a great idea. Let's try this.
We're in there and we're giggling like, that didn't work out too good. That did not work out so good. I mean, it worked out, but it obviously, that didn't go over real well. And then I went upstairs to do something, come down. I'm like, wow, does it smell down here? Like you could really catch a glimpse of that. That was rough.
I will say this, Doug. We allegedly did that, but I had more effect eating brownies at the Colts 49ers game by a lot.
Did you ever hear the pot brownie story?
Oh, the one you told me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, go ahead. Because that was
that's scary though. That's I could see how something like that would happen.
But the old lady brought brownies.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a different story. Didn't you say like you ate like 3 of them?
Oh,
And you're
no,
like,
that was a different
this
one.
isn't doing anything to me. And all of a sudden,
That was a
you
different
turned
one.
into Ignatowski.
Yes, that was a different one. Yes. That's right. No, that was a different one. That's for another time. Because that one was violent. That's when I ate those edibles out there when Seth fucking Green was my dealer and was telling me what to have. No, this was when we went to see the Colts play the Niners. Right. And we're in the stands. And that was when Selma dropped us off, our cab driver. She brought a throwaway. No. She was Russian.
Oh.
Okay.
She was.
Oh, yeah.
But she brought us.
She was like Marla Hooch.
Well, that's possible. She kicked both of our asses at the same time, right?
Yeah, Selma was a lot of woman.
Yeah, she was.
She was a big Russian dancing bear, huh?
Yeah.
She was. But she filled a throwaway cooler for beers for us, and we brought it, and she said, "Do you take this with you, tailgate, and then throw it away, because I'll have a fresh one. I pick you guys up." And she did. But, so we drank a shitload of beers, went into the stadium, and I'll let him finish the story.
So we're in the stadium, and a friend of mine had given us the seats, right? So he had season tickets. So we're watching the game, and it's the Andrew Luck era, right? Colts end up winning the game. But we're in there, I don't know, it's maybe like early third quarter. We got up a couple times, and we were keeping our head, right? We got a couple of beers, nothing crazy. There's this older lady who could have been our mom sitting in front of us with somebody who I'm guessing was her son as well, right? And so we had made some small talk up to this point, and she turned around. We'd come back with some beers, and we're having a good time, nothing crazy. And she turns around and goes, "Oh, would you boys like some brownies?" And she's got Tupperware, just like your mom would have a Tupperware full of brownies, right? And we're like, "Well, yeah, sure, right? We like brownies, right?" So we rip into them like animals, right? We eat these brownies. Didn't think one thing about it.
Nothing.
Not one thing. Nothing. It never crossed our mind that these things might have Mary Jane in them. So we're walking out of the game, and we get in this SUV with Selma, crack a couple of beers, and we're like, "Hey, I don't feel right. Like something's not right here. This is not like I've been good and ripped before, but this is different." Right. Oh, that ride back to the city, back from Candlestick back to downtown San Francisco. That was rough.
Well, Mike, because we went past Pac Bell Field or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
And Mike think I thought it was when we were walking out that it hit you that there's a possibility something was in those brownies. I think it was when we were walking out with the crowd. But it was
something wasn't right.
It was exactly kind of like what it did to me that first time, where we're riding in the car and we're not saying much to each other.
Right.
And then we ended up wanting to eat anything around at night. We ate those big slices of pizza.
Yep.
So I told this story to a bunch of people because I'm like, I don't think that she had anything in it. And they're like, first of all, who brings brownies in San Francisco to a football game? And I'm like, I never thought of it. I mean, she seemed like but she offered us some, And then I realized later, no, it's 100% sure she definitely had something in those things.
Yeah. We, like that night, Sunday night, we went to dinner, and then coming back from dinner, we stopped like at every place along the way and got something to eat.
That's right, we did. We ate after we ate. Yeah.
You guys could have ate the old 96er from the Great
good
Outdoors.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, we could have. Yeah.
Didn't we end up hanging on a cable car or something too down there? Because we went down by the wharf and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
Yep, had a big dinner, drank a bunch down there, rode the cable car back, get off the cable car, let's get something to eat. I'm starving.
Those big slices of pizza, which was like a quarter, like a quarter of a pie, but even bigger than that. That was something, yes.
Still only one slice, though.
Oh, that's it. That's all it was.
That's all it is one slice.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, then.
I know pizzas like that.
Oh, man, that was something. But I didn't think anything of it. Now, by the way, I've talked to some professionals, and they tell me, even professionals tell me, that you have got to be careful with anything edible because it's hard to control. Like when you put those together, even when they make them and eat them, it's hard to control the input. So you basically have no idea what direction it's going to take you. One of the pros was telling me how his dad made chocolate chip cookies with him in there, and they said do not have half. And these are pros now. These are the guy talks like Spicoli, like he's like a legitimate pro, and you got to be careful with edibles. So you don't know. I mean, I had never had it before. That was the first, and then would fire into a brownie. I think we only had one, but I'd never even thought that was a possibility. That's why she offered that, and she had them in a Tupperware like my mom used to bring. We used to go to the races, and you'd bring food in a Tupperware like you make hamburgers.
Yes.
The kid that was with her, how old was the kid?
He was an adult.
He was an adult. Okay.
Yeah, he probably
I was going to say, if she was letting the little kid eat it, then
no. He was older. Like he was probably living in their basement, or like he was somebody that should probably be out of the house by that point.
Right.
Speaking of my mom,
but he was holding out for a management position.
Good one, good one, cousin Eddie. So I put these things on Facebook, and my mom gets these links, and she cannot open them.
Right.
And I kept telling her, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told her on Sunday, I am not showing you how.
Yeah, see this stuff. I put it on Facebook the other day, and like 3 middle-aged guys being idiots subscribe. And I had so many people get back to me, and they're like, dude, you guys are really good. And I'm like, I'm like, first of all, like the one thing, like I sent it to a guy I used to drive in with, and he put it on at work. And I was like, oh God, I wish you wouldn't have done that, because I know I'm going to be the butt of jokes there, like
we have made no gorilla jokes at all.
No, but I know. Listen, I know when I watch this, and if they actually wind up seeing this one, this person will know who he is. He's a tall, skinny guy, bald, that eats food out of like the same food every day. And I'll tell you, I look at this, and they say the camera puts on 15. It's put on 50 for me, looking at this, right? And he will say, it's really more like 200, It's
like the Friends episode when they said, how many cameras are on you?
Yeah, right, yeah.
When he said that to Courtney Cox.
Yeah. So, but it's friends of mine, that I grew up with, they're like, this is great. It's fun. They've been watching it. And it's, like it's 3 idiots having fun.
Yes.
Nothing political, nothing controversial. It's just fun bullshitting with each other.
So first of all, how about last week my sister, thinking that we told the story. Well, you don't know this, but I'm going to kind of tease this story for another time. We told a story about my sister, I think that the text message, and she thought that we told the story about her shitting herself when she went to see Aerosmith.
Well, you just did now.
Or Styx. That's for another time. Hopefully, right? Did you, right? That I gotta let her do it though. That, because you know what's funny? I had no idea. I had no idea this happened until about a month or so ago. She told this story. We were somewhere because apparently the Heaters have a tradition of showing up, and within the first 30 seconds at a party or an event, a family function, shit or piss comes up instantly, which is stunning since that's basically how it is. It's like, oh, the Heaters are here. There's going to be shit stories. So she brought that up. She told that story about her going to see I didn't know this until like a couple of months ago that this happened. But I can't tell this. I'm not going to tell her that. She's going to be embarrassed.
That's something.
But she thought we.
I don't think I ever told you guys this one, but like, so I took a girl out to the movies one year, years and years ago, and we went out to dinner before that, and I was like, so we watched the movie. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go to the bathroom. Right? I drive her home. Yeah, I said, all right, good night. And I'm like, now I'm 4 miles from my house. There's a Dunkin' Donuts at the end of the street. I'm like, I'll just stop in Dunkin' Donuts, right? Of course, I get to the Dunkin' Donuts, everything's fine, right? I'm like, all right, I can make it home. I get home, I fly in the house. My mom's sitting up watching TV, and I run in the house, and she's like, hi, Jimmy, how are you? I'm like, good, Mom, how are you? I run into the bathroom, and the next thing I heard from my mother was, Jesus Christ. And she got up and went up to bed, because I just ran in. She was so disgusted, But
first of all, I got to imagine how many times Jim has told us stories already where he is sprinting to the toilet.
Oh, yeah. It's like I have no gallbladder, but I do. Oh. Yeah.
You know, that's I forget which movie, if it's Along Came Polly, the Ben Stiller scene where he's got a shit and Jennifer Aniston's apartment is tiny. Like, not that particular story, but a story where you've been on a date and you've got a shit, I think has happened to every male.
Yeah.
Because I can think of one time where I took a girl out and we went to this nice restaurant and I had to shit. So I decided I'm not going to eat. Because now I'm going to fight this off. It's the only time we went out, probably because of that reason.
Why,
really?
And I'm like,
really?
I'm like, she ordered lasagna. I'm like, nah, I'm okay. And I'm starving, but I know that if I eat, I'm going to have to now take care of this, where my stomach up to this point is currently winning the battle of not having to shit myself at this restaurant.
Yeah.
That was the only time we went out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that one? That guy. I remember that guy. We went out once. He had to shit himself, and I could tell, but he wouldn't say anything, so he didn't order any food.
Well, it's
that's one where you just go to the bathroom, you take a giant shit, and just leave.
Yeah. But
that's it.
Leave her there.
Yeah. Just leave.
Just leave her there.
It's going to be the same end result. She's
but no.
anyway.
She couldn't drive. She was that young. Like, she couldn't drive a car. So it wasn't like if I left her
parents?
there. No, that was too far away. I don't want to tell. It was so we went to a race car exhibit in King of Prussia. Okay. Living up here in the Frenchtown, Milford area, New Jersey. No, that would have been worse than just
they would have came after you with a baseball.
Deal and yes. Yeah. I don't exactly remember her name. I remember that was it. That was the only time that we ever went out. I got a couple other. I'm trying. Oh, we got some time. Do we want to tell? Oh, so we agree Nancy won the Oar, right?
Big winner of the Oar.
Nancy watches. It's a big winner of the Oar. He's now Tony V almost won it by yelling in your mouth. But Nancy won the Oar. Yeah. Do you want me to explain the Oar and the history behind it? So
yes, please. I think you should.
it's over there too. I'm gonna. Have
It's a
to
shame we can't conference her in and hand her the oar as an
Wait, can
award.
you go grab that thing? It's right over there. I was going to get it. So good one. Yeah, you're right. I wish we could if we did it live because there's names on
Give an
this.
acceptance speech,
Well, actually, I want to bring this thing back. So here it is. So this is from a rowboat. Here's the oar, and it's still got people's names on it from when we originally had winners of it, but it goes back to 93. Yeah, 93. So it's New Year's Eve 93, February 2nd, 12th 93, and March the 6th. Now here's the last one, March the 6th. What happened was, shockingly, when we presented this, when it became what we called a point show, because it was a racing reference, it got out of control. Like when the oar was on the line, it went for it, and it got out of control. So there was a guy we knew, and it turned out he was an alcoholic. So my friend Dean, we're working on an enduro car, one of those like demolition derby cars, and it was for his daughter, and he's working in the back. The guy was a little off anyhow. So he was in the car, like doing some work inside, and my buddy Dean's on the outside working on it, and this guy is talking to himself in there because he wasn't all... Mm-hmm. So he says, man, that guy, I don't want to say his name actually he's since passed, but he's like, boy, he ain't right. He goes, he don't have both oars in the water. So we started calling him the oarsman. So then we go to Syracuse for the dirt race, and he shows up, he got ripped. So he's an alcoholic. He's one of those where he has a few and he's over the top, like can't even barely stand. So we're camping out for the week, and he knew we had beer. So the place he was staying told him you can't drink anymore. He shows up at our camper, and he is barely standing. He ended up, so we started calling him the oarsman because he didn't have both oars in the water. He ends up getting up and falling into our open fire that we got. And we had a guy had to grab him, pull him out.
Holy shit.
It was bad. It was bad. He also drank piss out of a beer bottle that somebody had used to piss in, and he drank that. Because the next day we came out, and it was empty. And it was full the night before because he left. One of the guys came and got him, and we think he grabbed it, swigged it, and put it down on a tray. That was piss. Anyhow.
It's like that Hollywood Nights movie where he's like, Mark P is in the punch. It's like it's got a little... You never saw the movie Hollywood Nights?
No.
Classic.
Is that the porno movie with Mark Wahlberg? Oh.
No, that's Boogie Nights.
That's Boogie Nights. Oh.
No, Hollywood Nights had... oh, God, who was it? Robert Wool, the guy that was the reporter in the original Batman movie, and Arliss. And he
was in Bull Durham too, right? Robert Wool?
He spiked the punch.
Oh.
And in one of the scenes, the cop's drinking, and he's like, my dick is in the punch. And the guy's like, it does have a little wang to it, as he's talking about it.
Well, nobody yelled that out during
That's
it.
good.
So we decided... So this guy we called the oarsman, we decided in his honor, anytime we got together, we would have whoever was the drunkest would win the oar. And we had a guy that had a rowboat and had this oar that presented it to us, so that became the trophy. So any event, so if you had a part, so New Year's Eve 93, like, all right, it's a point show. Right. The oar's on the line. So whoever gets the drunkest wins the oar. Now the problem is that it created a lot of chaos because now your goal is to win this freaking oar.
Right.
And you go for it, which leads to a lot of trouble. Now, this is a long story, so I'll save the night that got me in trouble, which was March the 6th. It was the Butt Bongo Fiesta party. Do you remember Howard Stern releasing the Butt Bongo Fiesta show? I got that, and we watched it. So it's March the 6th of 1993. I'll save the story of how that got me in trouble because we were all pursuing this oar feverishly, including a female she's the only one on this. Now, I can resurface this and start, because we would write our names on it in a date. I can start doing that again. But this thing managed to stay with me through multiple moves to have the oar. But what happens is, like for example, if I know the oar's on the line and I want to win it, I'm going to drink like a lunatic to try to win the damn thing. So it ends up leading to a lot of trouble. So a lot of times you got to be careful with the oar. So it's kind of a quiet award now.
Yeah, I would say it has to.
Because I would have won that last year for sure.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. In Denver, I wanted to stick that oar up your ass on Monday. Because you stuck me there with that lunch when you had a fucking phone call for an hour.
I would have won the Oar in Denver.
Twice.
Oh, yeah.
Oar in Denver. Back-to-back nights. Yeah.
So...
Oh, yeah.
Here, we're at 40 minutes. I'll finish with this one. There is so many stories from Denver. So we got epically ripped the night before. I yacked in the fucking hotel room. Pedro had to come in and clean it. There's a lot of other times for this one. So we end up the next day we're going to meet up with my ex's friend, Mary Beth, who works for the Rockies.
Okay.
She's going to show us the stadium, Coors Field, which she did. But we decide we're going to have lunch with her. Now, again, we are violently hungover. Right. And I had to take a phone call that was important that lasted a lot longer than it should have. Right. I left Mike alone with her, and I thought it would be okay. But I know what it would have been like for me. I couldn't put two sentences together. I was afraid that it was going to go south to begin with. So I ended up leaving. He is livid because he's got to entertain her. And she's a nice person, right. But he's got to talk to her, and he can barely put sentences together because I was shaking like a son of a bitch, too.
I just wanted to put my head down and go to sleep in the restaurant. This lady, she was super nice, right? I never met her until that day. She's a very nice lady, don't get me wrong. I felt like shit. I wanted to die. And, man, I had 40 minutes with her. Tried to choke down a hamburger. Not yak all
I remember another wise decision of that next day. I still remember what I ordered at that restaurant. It was like a Swiss mushroom with like those honey glaze or those glazed onion rings on top of it. Like those things. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
You need grease.
Well, that didn't work. We were so bad. We went to see the Titans play the Broncos that Monday night when Vince Young was playing for Tennessee.
Oh, before he went to the super team?
Yes.
Okay.
We're sitting there, and there was an old lady who did not have pot brownies. She would have been like grandmother age, right? She was up there. And we were both sitting there, and we're both like behaving like perfect. And I remember, now we're in Colorado, so like the Air Force Academy is right there. She thought both of us were from the military. She's like, you two boys are from the Air Force, right? I'm like, no. And I'm thinking, had you seen us yesterday or the night before that, you would not have thought that. I'm like, I didn't want to tell her, no, we're so hungover that we can barely talk still. It's 24 hours later, and we're just trying to not yak watching this football game.
That was, so I know we're probably getting up against time here, but that was a historic game that we went to, Doug. Here's why. We had always gone to pro football games up until that game. And there was a turning point in that game. At that game, as we were leaving the game, we decided, let's stop and take a piss before we go. Because we were riding the train back then.
That's right.
Train, right? We go in the bathroom. These two guys pissing. These two guys are fucking fighting. And one guy takes another guy by the back of the head and starts slamming his face into the sink.
Yeah.
Blood is flying everywhere. He split his head open. Blood is all over the place. The cops come in. They throw them both down, cuff them. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. For a Titans-Broncos game, you're right. That was the turning point. That's like, we're not going to NFL games anymore. The Titans and Broncos on Monday night, or why would you have to have a fight? But that's what generates when you go to an NFL game. Well, that's right.
Do you remember when we were talking the other day? I'm excited the USFL's coming back, right? I had general season tickets, right? And every general game I went to, at some point, there was a fight. Whether it was on the spiral at the old Giant Stadium or in the stands, their fists were being thrown. Like everybody's drunk. Then you go to a Giant game and you watch it, and everybody's like all, sitting up prim and proper because those tickets were in people's families for years and years and years. And then you flash forward to like the 2000s, you go to a Giant game, fights in the stands again, and now it's getting younger. And the one thing I don't understand is why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Root for your team. Obviously people will be dicks about it, but still, just I don't like to realize like, A, you can kill somebody. Like, didn't that happen with a baseball game? But look, alcohol and fists don't mix. But you would think that somebody would have a cool head, be like, you know what, this is stupid. You know, like, what are we doing?
This is two guys that have gone to many Jets, Giants, and Eagles games. Eagles is a shithole. Yeah. That's all. Now Miami though is not right. Miami, I've never been. We went to see them play the Raiders a couple of years ago. Right. And Raider fans, Dolphin fans, it just seems like because of where you are, that it's so nice and warm and relaxed that you like your team, but you're not going to fight somebody. Right. Am I wrong, or is it like that there? Because you've been to more games there than I have.
I think it's a combination of things. It's the fan base is not violent about it.
Yeah.
It's a very transient fan base to begin with. So there's not a bunch of diehards. Nobody's dressing. Like you go to a Raiders game and Oakland or Vegas, everybody's in the Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Right.
At a Dolphins game, it's fucking hot. You're wearing shorts and a tank top.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's dressing up. So
yeah,
I think that's part of it. It's just a much more relaxed environment.
Yeah.
Well,
a Canes game, if you go to see the Canes in Florida State,
right.
It's rough.
Oh, I can imagine.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But most Dolphin games are benign.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to go. They play the Vikings this year in Miami. I'm hoping maybe we can get to see that one. But I would imagine going to a Vikings game in that stadium, Viking fans are passive. They sit on their hands. I don't think.
Right.
I've never been to one, but I imagine that they're not like that. Philly, it's a fucking toilet bowl.
See, I'd like to go to Miami and go to the old Orange Bowl and watch a game.
Well,
you know,
I've never.
That would have been like the.
I don't think. No, because when we went.
Yeah, they tore it.
I've never. No, that's right. Because we saw the U, but I forgot they play at Hard Rock, and I didn't see anything. Yeah, no, that would have been neat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I had heard something where they were talking about building another Orange Bowl down there in the city of Miami just for the Canes. Now, I don't know if the Dolphins would be involved with that too, but I mean, that'd be good. I mean, you got Cristobal down there, and so you know. Listen, I hope Miami goes 0-13 or 0-12 every year because I fucking hate them. But it would be nice to, you know, you get them back a little bit. You know.
Oh yeah.
You want to see them
be relevant
once. You know, once in a.
All right, so we're up against it here, but I want to. The USFL is something I want to talk about. I knew that wasn't time sensitive tonight. The college football expansion, which was a big topic. But there can be some college football discussion coming up because there's some games I wouldn't mind talking about because to me that season's never over.
Right.
But the whole my theory on Clemson and where they're headed and that whole thing. But let's wrap this up. And I think we touched on everything that's basically time. But the USFL is something I'd like to because I didn't realize that's going to start. That should be a fun league. I think that'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
So I want to keep those things for next time because I'm not. I'm not all that concerned about talking about the NBA.
Now, even if baseball doesn't come back with this lockout, you know, like the USFL starts in 2 months.
It's college football season all the time for me.
Right.
And now that they talked about playoffs again, we can definitely get into that again.
Oh yeah, there were two good articles in the Athletic about that. But
yeah,
that's for another time.
So, all right, Mike, words of wisdom. I almost forgot about that.
This is right up your alley. I always try and come up with something interesting for everyone. Here are my words of wisdom. Sarcasm helps keep you from telling people what you really think of them.
That's good because I'm sarcastic as balls. Yeah. That's good.
It helps you.
Yes, these have been good. These last three have been really gold. Yeah. So, by the way, for another time is he's wearing his Indianapolis Motor Speedway shirt. When we went there in August, did we fuck? Oh, Penske's birthday was yesterday. Did you? Yeah. So Austin Cindric won the Daytona, and he's the Roger Penske driver, and it was Roger's. I wonder if Roger drank as many beers as we did when we went down and sat in his suite. Oh, did we drink like son of a bitches that day? Holy shit. That was 10 a.m., Jim. I want to say that. Here's a teaser. 10 a.m. to after 2. 2 a.m., right?
Oh, that's...
At the racetrack, at the ballpark. We went to a minor league game at the hotel bar. and then at a cigar bar. And if Angela didn't get pissed off, Mike and I would probably have not gone to bed. I don't know, we wouldn't have. Yeah,
See, sometimes with stuff like that, I think you actually drink yourself sober. You know what
did
I mean? Like you're so drunk, but you're like,
no,
yeah, I can function right now.
No,
like, yeah.
I felt like shit the next day.
The next day, yeah.
I slept in the airplane, and she drove home from, I think we went to Newark. No, that was not. Now, that's when she told me that it's damn lucky that Mike and I don't live close to each other, because we would be that was epic. Anyhow, we can get into the details. All right, Mike, good to see you again. We'll do this next week. All right, everything good?
Good to see you, boys.
All right,
you too.
Jim, thanks. So episode number 14, that's for another time. We've talked about trying to spread the word. Continue to tell your friends. I hate to promote it, but you want to subscribe. The numbers are starting to go up. The viewers are going up. So hopefully you enjoyed this one too. And we'll be back at it next week. We'll see you next week.